If I'm going to get bad news, I want it from him because he's very handsome. Dr. Irwin Redlenner joins us now. MSNBC medical expert. Dr. Irwin Redlenner.
Here he became Dr. Doom.
Dr. Irwin Redlenner is the founding director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness and senior research scholar.
Dr. Doom.
Oh, I need a nap after reading your title. It is too much work. Good morning, Doc. Good morning,
Nobody
sir.
cares. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
No.
Hiya.
We do care.
You tweeted, so Trump indicted for false statements, potential conspiracy, good, but think about the likely hundreds of thousands of excess COVID deaths he's responsible for. Okay, he accelerated vaccine development, then properly undermined his own agenda and turned so many against using them. Yeah, that really is one of the horrible, lasting legacies of Trump, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's like we're reveling in the fact that he got caught with making misleading financial statements to banks. And I was thinking about that in the context of the horror that we've gone through during the pandemic years and the lives lost and the number of people he's turned against common sense and public health. And by the way, that's going to be really hard to reverse.
Yeah.
People now have fixed positions. They don't believe experts. They don't believe public health. And we're going to have to live with that for a while. And man, oh man, what happens when we get the next pandemic? Yeah. Nothing good, I'm afraid. And I'm afraid we're going to get a pandemic eventually. But yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, so he's indicted. I'm glad. But, we'll be accountable.
You retweeted someone who said he kept us from fighting COVID hard from the outset, dragged his feet on testing, withheld access to good masks, promoted disinformation, and politicized the whole damn thing in order to benefit his reelection bid. And you said just infuriating, and I wish we could truly hold him accountable. I mean, at least this is a start in New York. I think people want some accountability for just the massive damage he has inflicted, not just here, but around the world. I was thinking of you when he gave this Fox interview, Trump, and said, well, I think, Putin will take all of Ukraine eventually, saying it like it's a good thing, right? Which is what would happen if he got back
incredible. In. And, but the issue of this minor charge compared to culpability for COVID, it reminds me of when they had mafia leadership on the stands charging them with RICO violations as opposed to murdering and drug dealing and everything else that they were doing. It's something, and it put them out of business. Yeah. And this is, I guess, our hope is that these crimes that he's now accused of, he's indicted for, will be the beginning of the end of him as a political force in this country, although his legacy in many ways will still live on in his many mentees who have adopted, mini Trump as their ongoing political personalities. But, we'll have a lot of work to do to get this all really, really cleaned out of our political reality in America.
Speaking of which, we were talking about Bobby Kennedy Jr., who, of course, has become well known as an anti-vaxxer, talking about running against Biden in the Democratic primary, encouraged by Steve Bannon, who basically said, I want a chaos agent, to obviously hurt Democrats and Biden. I mean, it's amazing our ability to shoot ourselves in the foot. Bobby Kennedy, who's done so much good work on many other liberal issues, right?
Has he? I mean, it's like it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
He is such an extremist nut job right now, and really a significantly crazy opponent of public health.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. And I'm sure, the cliche that his father's rolling over in his grave is not only his father, his uncles. Yeah. The Kennedy name has been sullied by him. And the idea that he thinks he could somehow be an effective leader of the country it's really pretty laughable if it wasn't serious. But in some ways, I feel sorry for him and for his family in a way. But here we are in the land of anything could happen politically. Here we go. Maybe we'll have a Bobby Kennedy, Donald Trump race.
Yeah.
There you get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we're moving, baby.
But-
We're out of here.
But we were saying it's just sometimes the far right and far left unite in this weird anti-vax, kooky kind of area that is just confounding, I'm sure, to scientists like you.
Well, it's completely confounding, but I actually wouldn't call Bobby Kennedy far left.
Yeah.
I think he's far out there, but in an unstable way. And look, I'm not his doctor. I've never examined him, and I do know him. I've met him.
Yeah.
And when I met him years ago on a number of occasions, he was a perfectly fine, stable,
me too.
progressive. Me too. He was an environmental lawyer and a very effective one.
Yeah. Yep.
And the dynamic of how he changed, I have no idea, but it's really scary.
Let's talk about where we are now. You tweeted news from World Health Organization, additional boosters for high-risk folks necessary, low-risk younger people not so much, and very high-risk people should consider boosting every 6 months. Because we were saying it is still a depressingly small number of us that are fully boosted at this point, right?
Correct. And, for many people who are really, truly not at high risk, they tend to be younger. They don't have any pre-existing important medical conditions that would put them at greater risk. They're not immunocompromised. That's a category. And they are not compelled and probably should not get multiple boosters. But people that are older, people who have pre-existing conditions and are immunocompromised.
Define older. Define older, Doc.
Define old. Let's see. That would be, how old are you?
Well, that's the rub. That's the rub. Is are you talking about my on-air age or my actual age?
Yeah.
Like in dog years, or
it varies.
Are you talking about the big lie?
Karen's now really ticked off that I asked you that question, so I tracked it. But let's say people over 70. Some might, this is what is old. It's hard to define that, but people who are older and not as functional as they were, not too many years ago. And I'd say, somewhere between 65 and 75, people start fitting the category of older in the way that would suggest that they should get vaccinated.
By the way, you said it's your 48th anniversary. You and Mrs. Doom. Congratulations! And let's just say my big lie age. You got married 7 years before I was born. Okay.
Hey, you want to know my secret to a long marriage?
Yes.
Long relationship?
Yes.
3 things I've been telling my kids and everybody I could tell this. 3 things: forgiveness. I mean, legitimate, honest, genuine forgiveness.
Yeah. Wasn't that the dumbest movie line ever? Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Yeah, no, it isn't. But and the second thing is sense of humor.
Yep.
We would not have made it without laughing a lot.
Yep.
And the third thing is, look, Rob Lowe just said this recently: keeping the heat on, romance.
Wow. Dr. Doom
last longer, given the fact that they have senses of humor and the ability to forgive one another.
Dr. Doom, you saucy little minx. Do you like what is it? What are the whoopee cushions? How do you, Mrs. Doom, keep the laughter? No.
I don't think I can share that publicly.
Okay, never mind.
We laugh a lot.
Yeah.
We make fun of each other. We just make fun of sacred cows.
Yeah.
All
right, good. No, we asked
progressive humor.
Because I think the 3 of us, we've only made 9 years.
Travis has the record. I've made 8.
I've made 9.
9. Yeah, Travis has 9.
Yeah. Well,
listen, follow those guidelines, man. It'll be forever.
Okay. All right.
I think all those things going for us.
Yeah. There was a piece about Putin's war having a devastating impact on Ukraine's children. I have to say, congratulations again, not just on your anniversary, but on behalf of the Ukrainian Parliament. They expressed their gratitude to you personally and to Ukraine. Tell us what the website is again. I know we've linked to
Ukraine
it.
CAP. .org.
Yeah, .org.
UkraineCAP.org.
Yeah.
And this was one of the most satisfying things that we're able to do in Ukraine. The Russians had destroyed or stolen most of the working vehicles, including the school buses in Chernihiv, which is north of Kyiv and south of the Belarus border. and the kids weren't getting to school. It's a very sparsely populated area. Kids needed the school buses, and when our volunteers told us about this, we sent them shopping in Poland. They found used school buses. We bought 6 of them, refurbished them, and sent them just a week ago up to Chernihiv, where they were received by school officials, political officials, and so on. And we got a wonderful, warm thank you video from a member of the Ukraine parliament who represents Chernihiv.
Yep.
So that was very gratifying. And this is what we try to do there, Steph. We try to do things that matter to people. And we've been fortunate. People have been donating, and every dollar is accountable.
Yep.
And we like to make things happen in a way that really makes a difference where it's needed.
Yeah, and Doc, we keep saying another reason why voting is so important, because if you feel like we should stand with Ukraine, you got to vote for Democrats, or there's a very real chance that funding could be cut. So, Doc,
what a disaster that would be. What a disaster.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Doc, thanks for all your good work. Thanks for being a hero. We'll talk to you next week.
Don't forget the 3 rules.
Okay.
3 guidelines. Okay.
I already forgot 2
Bye,
of them.
guys.
That's probably why I've only made 9 years. Okay. Love
Thanks,
you.
Doc.
I know, I got it. Sense of humor, heat, keep the heat up. What was the first one, Sean?
Forgiveness.
Oh, forgiveness. You're right. Thank you, Doc. Oh, he's still here.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you got it right.
Yes, good.
I think it's, well, I won't use the dirty ones. Bunch of F's. The F words. Forgiveness, and what was the other one? Fart jokes.
Funny.
Okay,
Fart
there you
jokes,
go.
that's it.
Yeah, lots of F-bombs. Oh, he's still here. Okay, I should probably go. 18 minutes.